Oh, Barry. Barry Ferguson, apology. A few short months ago, I turned around and said, you know what, I'd rather Russell Martin over the guy, because I'd rather go with the unknown than the known. Because Barry, I mean, let's face it, he was off the back of not exactly the greatest run in Rangers history. The games against Fenerbahce, that was alright. The game also against Bilbao and 0-0. I mean, there's some good moments, but domestically, let's face it, it was absolutely brutal under Barry as well. But I'd rather Barry Ferguson, guys, than Russell Martin. Absolutely, I don't care what way you spin it. Even the signings, Russell Martin, right? We look at the signings that have been brought in under his watch. Simplicity might have been key here. Barry wanted Lawrence Shankland, Josh Mulligan, and Tierney. Now, I referenced that in my stream earlier, but I forgot the last guy I wanted was Tierney. So we're back there with Tierney. Those three guys, right? If you bring in those three, and say you don't bring in Rothwell, Shermity, and a winger, Ant-Man. Because let's face it, Ant-Man has shot the bed. There's probably a winger that was brought in, that's Oscar Cortez, but that had to happen, sadly. Sadly! It had to happen, right? That just improves us massively, man. It really, really does. Now, I've got a feeling there's going to be a lot to talk about regarding Rangers, and no, I haven't bottled it the last couple of days. I've been on the phone to the Samaritans, some people have been saying, but I'm here, right? All those jokes aside, and let's see what Barry Ferguson had to say about Russell Martin, because what he's basically said is that it's time to go, to quote the late great Claude for Arsenal Fan TV. But here we go, this is what he had to say. And I quote, I'd love to sit here and say that everything's going to be alright. There's nothing I'd rather be writing about this morning than how the future looks bright for Russell Martin and Rangers, and why the supporters need to keep faith and stick with the manager and the team for the long haul. But I can't! Unfortunately, the fans won't listen to me or anyone else right now. They've made their minds up, and there's nothing anyone can say to change that. But there is something that Martin and the players can do about it, and that's to make sure they come off the pitch at Ibrox on Saturday with their name in the hat for the semi-final of the Premier Sports Cup. It really is that simple. Beat Hibs, knock them out the last day, and at the very least give yourselves a chance of steadying the ship and getting these fans back on your side. End of quote. But again, right, what, you know something like Barry's word at that? He's like, the fans won't listen to me or anyone else right now, right? Now, this guy's essentially saying that Martin needs to go without saying it, right? But why can't pundits turn around and say, he's fucking shite, he needs to go? Oh, but they need to keep it professional, right? Well, maybe scrap the fucking shite part, even though it's very true. Why do they always spin this like narrative, right? Yeah, you know what, Barry hasn't said it here, but other pundits do. I've heard Boyd say it and countless others. Super Scoreboard. Oh, I don't want anybody to lose their job. Why are people pretending, right, that if Andrew Kavanagh, who flew in, by the way, he's landed, why are we pretending that if he sacks Russell Martin tomorrow, Russell Martin is going to receive zero, nada, no money, and he's going to go home to his house, and he's going to not even be able to afford the heating, right? He's not even going to be able to afford a fucking chicken and mushroom pot noodle. Why are we pretending that's the case? Russell Martin is a millionaire, and once he gets sacked, right, it's not if, it's when, he will become even more of a millionaire. Alright? He will get millions from getting sacked. So see this, I don't want to see anybody lose their job. We're not talking about Andy that works at the post office, or Thomas that works at the bank, or some fucking person that works at the bar, alright? Well, if they get sacked, they're not exactly getting paid off, right? We're talking about a manager that's going to get millions, and he's dragging the club to the depths of fucking hell by his management. Alright? So let's see this narrative that pundits and play, oh, but they've all got each other's backs and they can't say that. I would just like a bit of honesty. See, instead of Barry spinning it into some way that it's like, well, the fans won't listen to me, so it doesn't really matter what I say. Even though I'm not backing him, I'll half pretend that I would back him, but it doesn't matter what I say. It's like, why not just come out and turn around and say he's the worst manager statistically in Rangers Football Club history, and that's a fact, and for that reason alone he needs to go. I mean, that's relatively keeping it clean. That's not even making it personal, or going deeper than what you should need to go to further your point. That's the literal facts of this, folks. This guy is statistically the worst Rangers manager in our history. It's what a win percentage, like 22%. Fucking get rid of him. Sitting here, man. And, all Martin can do is win games. If he is being kept, all he can do is win games. But are we going to beat Hibs? Are we going to be in the semi-final draw? I doubt it. Let's see what Barry had to say. Extra. And I quote, "There's no point kidding yourselves on, hoping that the atmosphere is suddenly going to turn around after reaction to last week's defeat at Hearts. It won't. Russell's a smart guy. He'll know what to expect this weekend. He's going to be walking back into a hostile environment, and there will still be a lot of anger in the air. That's what happens when you let the Rangers support down. It's a responsibility you take on when you represent the club." End of quote. Another key thing is, right, Martin just spews shite. See, when Barry was manager last year, he spoke the truth in the pressers, the post-match interviews, yada yada yada, right? Bazball, right? Whatever you want to call it, Bazball, right? He said it as it is. Martin said it as it is after the Motherwell game, and then quickly realised, oh fuck, I've just threw all these players under the bus after game 1 in the league. Probably not the brightest idea in the land. And I quote, "I've been there myself many times to mention. I know how difficult it can be. Also, my short time in the dugout last season, I know how it feels to be the man carrying the can when things don't go the way you want them to on the pitch. I did hear the shouts for the stands. I knew that these guys were hurting. Did I enjoy standing out there in the firing line? Don't be stupid. Of course I didn't. But did I understand what I was getting myself into? Absolutely. No disrespect to Motherwell Hibs, when we came to our place, nothing but a home win was ever going to be acceptable. Not to me, not to the players, and most certainly not to the fans. So when we failed to do our jobs, the reaction from the stands wasn't just inevitable, it was completely deserved. I hated it. I took it home with me. I'd be in the house that night, replaying the game in my own mind and going over the decisions I had made. I'd be torturing myself thinking what I could or should have done differently on the day. I'd be busting to get back out there on the training ground as soon as possible to fix what we had got wrong." End of quote. But see, I don't think Russell Martin, when we lose a game, is taking it, replaying the match in his house. This guy's just sitting there eating a vegan sausage roll, tucking into a bag of corn chicken. I'll say a bag of corn chicken, you would need to put it on a tray and heat it up or stick it in the air fryer. It doesn't really matter what way Russell Martin cooks his chicken, right? What matters is how he cooks this Rangers team. And I mean, whatever cooking analogy you want, is he undercooked this? Is he overcooked this? Is he over fucking cooked it and burnt this to a crisp? Is the chicken still pink? I don't give a shit what way you spit it, right? Russell Martin needs to go. There is no coming back from this. I said on the live stream earlier on my channel, right? This guy would literally need to win the league to win us over, right? Win us over. He would need to, even if he couldn't win the league, he would need to do like a cup double and close the league to like a point and look like we're firing on our cylinders towards the end of this season. That's not going to happen. Why? Well, probably because not this time tomorrow, but in about 30 hours or so, we'll be at the Cup. This guy will be, oh, well, I seen this in training. Fuck your training, Mark. Alright? Your training is a load of shite. This is what Barry had to say about LOCH Lomond. Would I have taken the team wild water swimming at LOCH Lomond on Monday? No, probably not. Like I say, my focus would have been getting back on the training ground as quickly as possible. But that doesn't mean he was wrong to do something unusual. Sometimes it's good to take the players out of their environment and bring everyone together. In my own time as a player, I remember some mornings we'd go for a walk as a team, have a rolling sausage and a proper discussion about what was going wrong and what we had to do to change it. End of quote. I mean, I like that. I mean, I prefer. What do you prefer? Going to LOCH Lomond for a bit of skinny dipping, or going for a rolling sausage? The Barry Ferguson way is much better. So yeah. I mean, if you ever wanted proof that Barry should have got the job, they wouldn't have been at LOCH Lomond. They would have been eating a square sausage, and that's fucking 100 times better than skinny dipping at LOCH Lomond. Just ridiculous, man. But, like Martin said in his wee presser earlier this morning, folks, right? You wouldn't be saying it if I was winning. Yeah, I couldn't give a shit where he could take him to Disneyland. If we were winning, I don't care. See as long as we're winning and Martin's doing it, right? I don't care how he does it and what's his way of doing it. But see, as long as we are winning and we are getting 3 points, I don't give two shits if he's feeding the entire Rangers squad the shitest, most disgusting vegan food on the planet. I don't care, because see if we're winning points, that's all that matters to me. If they want to go skinny dipping after every game, then go ahead, alright? But see, when you're losing, I'm going to bash the fuck out of you, Martin, and your tactics and your antics and your ideas and your skinny dipping, because it's just a load of shite. It's just excuses. Anyway, Barry has said his piece. He can't back him. Doesn't agree with LOCH Lomond. He's more of a square sausage kind of guy, and so am I. But you know, Martin would be more of a, I don't even an egg and what the are vegans not even allowed eggs? I don't think they are. I think vegetarians are allowed eggs. I think vegans aren't allowed anything that is anything to do with an animal. Maybe I need to, like, says it, or is it the death of an animal? I don't really know. I'm not going to pretend I'm in the know about all that stuff. I think it's a load of shite. Eat what's nice. At the end of the day, see animals. Is it unfortunate they have to go, and some have to die? You know, to fulfill our needs. Oh, but you don't have to eat them. You don't. God put them on this planet for a reason, Martin. Right? So reel it in, Russell Martin. If I want to eat beef or whatever, I'll do that. So on that note, peace.